I feel most comfortable when I'm at home, and this place has been my home for nearly 20 years. I moved here when I was in 4th grade back in 1998. I made friends down the street and began attending school nearby. Now, my house was the house where everyone hung out at, and I was very fortunate to have parents that put up with it. We weren't exactly the quietest of children. As my family grew, so did our house. We got an add-on, and then I eventually finally got my own room. When I started college, instead of moving away, my parents moved to the mountains and I stayed here with some friends. Now, years later, I'm living in the home I grew up in with my wife, Sarah. Just a few weeks ago, my parents moved across the country to a new home. I finally got to visit their new place. My parents have always wanted to live somewhere where they could own land. They moved to the mountains when I started college, and then a few years later moved out to the desert and had a nice place with a big backyard. I even got married in their backyard. Now that my younger brothers have graduated high school, my parents are ready to retire on a nice plot of land. After much searching for several years, they found a beautiful ranch house in Tennessee. It was just about a month after they left, and my stepdad arranged for us to visit and surprise my mom for her birthday. She was pleasantly surprised.
No way! Oh my gosh! Oh, this is the best
birthday, Mom.
ever! Oh my gosh!
I was only able to stay for a few days, but it was a wonderful, relaxing few days. We got to take a boat onto a nearby river, ride kayaks, shoot some guns and fireworks on the property, and go hiking on the hill across the river. Now, I'm certainly a homebody. I love being home, I don't like traveling, I don't like being away from home for too long. But I really felt comfortable here. It was really great to spend time with my family in this peaceful place. As much as I love being there, I'm happy to be back home. I've lived in this place all through junior high and high school until my parents wanted to move. I told them I wanted to live here forever and get married in it. When I was 18 and done with high school, my parents moved out and left me to stay in this house with 2 friends and my brother. After a year of college, I ended up moving on campus and met some friends, and then we moved off campus, and then I moved back here with those same friends. We had 8 people live in this place at one time, until finally, I married the love of my life, and now we live in my childhood home together. Now that my parents have moved away, my brother's living on their own for the first time in a house of their own in the same way that I did when I was their age.
It's not going to be the same effect.
It's not the same amount of steam.
Yeah. Gotta give it a little time. I mean, I feel like we're actually like making our own food now. And it's different because now, you know, with there's only being like 2 or 3 of us and we're paying for our own food, we kind of get to make whatever we want. Because now I actually think that like making food and finding recipes is actually kind of fun.
We decided to set up a house gig here in our backyard, and so with the help of my brother Jason, we set up the whole backyard to look nice, make it look like a little venue, hung lights, actually had stage lights, and kind of made it this fun thing where we had, you know, a group of like 50 friends come over, and it was a fun experience all around.
So living on my own's been great. I freaking love it. I like the responsibility of having to go grocery store, making my own food, and you know, paying the bills, getting paychecks and all that. It's just something I really like. I don't know, I like the freedom of being on my own. I'm building a home studio in one of our other rooms, you know, with microphones, soundboard. My ideal goal right now is to be a stage manager for some kind of a band and go touring with them, and I think that would be a lot of fun, traveling, doing audio for bands, and just really seeing it through that lens.
Out of the phone's jack.
The differences between me and Ricky living in the same house are pretty drastic. I'm more of a cleanly, try and keep myself organized, try not to bother anybody else leaving my stuff around the house, but Ricky's a bit different than that. He's more disorganized, has to have everything kind of laid out in front of him to process everything. I'm more of a inline, straight thinker. Laying in my bed.
Didn't happen.
All three of my brothers got into free running. To be honest, I never really wanted to get into it. Like I'm sure there was times where I was like, I wanted to do a front flip or back flip, but I think it was more of like a camaraderie thing. Like I wanted to be one of the guys, one of the brothers doing backflips and stuff, but I never actually found an interest in doing like the free running and backflipping and all that.
So, living on my own has been great because there's a lot more freedom in deciding what I want to do on a daily basis or how I choose to get things done. I think a lot of the responsibility that comes with it, it's like while it's challenging, it's kind of fun at the same time because you feel more accomplished. I mean, the stress comes with managing like bills and all that. That's something I'm not into at all. And Jason is right. I'm less of the organized person. I need things laid out in front of me, and so having to sort through the mail and everything is kind of a nightmare.
But I meant like with like the music being.
Yes. This is also a very exciting time for one of my free running friends, Kyle. He finally just bought his first home. Being an adult and owning his own home, he was able to set it up just the way he wanted.
It's comfortable at least. I'm scared of just I mean, I bought a new place and there's a big enough master bedroom on the second floor, and ever since I saw the movie Big with Tom Hanks when I was a kid, they had a trampoline on the upstairs. I just had to get one.
The reason why I wanted to buy a home is because it's a good investment. What I did not want to do is just, pay rent for the rest of my life. Just trying to think long term for the future and just try to be a responsible person. Yay. So it's actually a big enough place where I could raise a family. It's got 3 bedrooms to it, and even though it's nice having the whole place to myself right now, it is actually a place that I bought to be a place that I could raise a family in if I wanted to.
I've lived in many places, but this has always been home for me. It is where I started free running and skateboarding and has nearly all my childhood memories. One thing I've been wondering lately is, what makes a home for you? Is it the people, the things, the comforts we have, a particular place? I know that someday I'll make a new home somewhere else. It may not even be in my hometown or even in California. I often wonder, will that new house feel like the home that this place is? I came across a quote recently from John Pierce that I felt best described my feelings of this place. Home is a place you want to grow up wanting to leave and grow old wanting to get back to.
Check it out. Bravo!